Well, you may not think about school lunches, but they are a key measure when it comes to federal funding. CCSD is making a change to how that money is distributed next year to help some of the district's poorest schools.
But as 13 Action News reporter Brian Callahan now explains those changes where they're leaving some schools right on the bubble.
This year, 280 schools in the Clark County School District split $64 million in Title I funding. That means 3 out of every 4 CCSD schools shared in the federal funding meant for those with the highest percentage of poor children.
We got close to, about $100 million from the federal government that comes into the school district. Is really allocated to us because of our free and reduced lunch rate.
The federal government requires schools with 75% of their students qualified for free and reduced lunch to get those Title I dollars. But for years, CCSD has set a lower standard, giving those federal dollars to schools with 40% of students on free and reduced lunches. At Spring Valley High School, that meant an extra $275,000 this year.
What we did with our money this year is we focused almost entirely on class size reduction. We spent just a little bit under $190,000 and bought 35 teachers prep periods, which is equivalent to hiring almost 7 teachers.
Next year, Principal Tam Larnard will not have that extra money as the district decided to move the line for the Title I dollars from 40% to 60% in an effort to concentrate the funding on the schools with the greatest need.
Going all the way down to 40%, you're diluting the money. It's driving more dollars to communities that have been underserved and under-resourced for many years.
Trustee Danielle Ford started her term on the school board about the same time Superintendent Jesus Jara told principals about the change and was quick to ask questions.
It was about $2.3 million being taken out of my district.
Ford says she understands the change, but wonders if it was too much, too quick.
I do support giving this money to the schools and the kids who most need it. However, I don't support making that large of cuts from one year to another.
A check of schools awarded Title I funding for the current school year shows 280 schools. 67 of those schools have a free and reduced lunch rate between 40 and 60%, meaning they're losing funding. And Principal Larnard says in addition to the funding, he is losing some employees who were forced to transfer or voluntarily take a pay cut.
When a school is Title I, many of our support professionals were paid at a higher rate because they have to have additional qualifications to work at a Title I school.
Trustee Ford says she is hopeful that a solution is in the works that could help those schools caught in the middle.
I have heard since then that there are some plans in place to help support the schools that lost that funding, so I'm happy to hear that.
As for now, Larnard says he's working with his school organizing team to find a solution.
Opted to kind of push forward to next year. We call it carrying over to help kind of fill part of that gap. So we've offset maybe making some major purchases with textbooks and things, just waiting to see how things shake out next year.
And schools on the edge of that 60% cutoff are being given an appeal process. Brian Callahan, 13 Action News, raising the bar.